Hi everyone, can you hear me well? Yes. Okay, I think we can start. Maybe someone will join as we go. So my name is Svitlana and I am a senior customer success manager at Reliex. Different people call it differently. As we are an app vendor, and I'll talk a little bit about how planned versus reality in the end affects your deadlines, your projects, and how you can understand that in Jira. So probably most of the team are facing that issue, but only a few would like to admit that the problem lays actually there. And let's see if I can move to another slide. Yes. So raise your hand if you ever felt like your plan looked perfect just until the real work started. It can be connected to your life or to your work, because we usually make plans everywhere. Yeah, a lot of problems. If you are not raising your hand, you're probably nodding, because to have it perfect, to have the plan that will actually work in the end, that's a tough challenge. And without data to know that there is a problem, you will not be able to solve it. So let's imagine a story where, like once upon a sprint, a team planned 100 hours of work, but then they tracked only 47. Where did 53 hours go? Usually, like, there is no way of knowing, but there can be super many things. There can be unexpected meetings, sick leaves, maybe sick leave of a person, or maybe a dog got sick. So there are many different things that can happen. And without knowledge, you would not know how to fix it in the future. Because if you ask the team in the end, they will say that they are at full capacity. But if that's true, that's a question to ask. Why planned versus actual matters? Because it's not just the numbers, just you know that there is a difference of 50 hours, right? There's also burned budgets, because usually you do, like, everything is connected to the money in the end. So you do plan your project in some way. You know that you have 100 paid hours, especially for the companies that provide services to customers. That's the case. Then there is overloaded or underloaded teams. As for me, both are equally bad. Because underloaded teams, well, it's good for teams that don't want to work a lot, but it's bad for the company overall. Overloaded teams are also bad, because if people are burned out, in the end, the productivity will not be as high, and maybe at some point good results, but maybe no. And yeah, broken trust with stakeholders, because sometimes, or like a lot of times, when you see a plan, you would want it to be a reality, so you would want this to actually happen, but if it does not happen, that breaks some trust. And yeah, over time, so probably we all been there when you work not 8 hours a day, but more just to complete the work that was assigned to you. So there's some short statistics. The poor planning is actually responsible for 32% of cases of project failures. Does not sound like a lot, but 32% is actually almost 1/3, right? So to have the like at least some way of planning and knowing when what will happen, that's also one of the keys to success. So let's talk a little bit about Jira. We all use Jira, that's why probably we are here today. And Jira is great, but it's not built for comparing plans versus reality at scale. So what we have there, planned data. So what planned? It's basically what work is scheduled for users at a certain period of time. So planned data usually lives in issues, so we don't call them issues anymore, work items, and roadmaps or like some views that are there. But the actual work is scattered across work logs. So if you want to see total time spent on something, you either create a JQL and have a look at the total number, or if you want to compare it actually task to task, that's like opening a few tabs or so. So it is possible, but it's not built to basically analyze and see information at scale. So there is this question, how to close this gap, how to get information over what overall you planned and what actually happened. So basically how to move from we thought we'd get this done to actually we know what is happening, because that's the most important one. So our company actually got here by trying to resolve that problem. And that's something simple that we understood in the end, that better planning starts with better visibility. So yes, you can make plans in Jira, you can assign things to people and so on, but do you have this like overview over everything that is there across the whole portfolio? Unfortunately, not with the native functionalities, and that's actually key to better planning. And yeah, better visibility starts with the right tools. So a little bit about us. Activity Timeline is an add-on for Jira for resource capacity planning and time tracking. So it's not just us saying that we are good, but also some of our customers. As you may read if you have good vision, it's a little bit too small in here. We are Platinum Marketplace partner, and for cloud customers also certified with ISO and SOC certification, but we are also available on data center where all data is with you. So basically security is a priority, and you are taking care of it. So eventually what it does and what information it brings you, think of it as a crystal ball for planning. It does give you not only visual timelines, so you have an overview over everything that your team is working on across a different period of time. Maybe you want to plan a 2-week sprint, or maybe you want to plan a quarter or like next 3 years. Usually that does not happen, but if you have already plans for the future, you can do that. Then you can have those timesheets insights in one place. So if your users track time through Jira, they can keep doing so, but you will get a centralized place where you can overview everything that they worked on and have the visibility over where the time went. So let's say what actually I planned for them versus what actually they did. And of course, those planned versus actual reports. So this brings plans tracking and adjusting in one place. So you can have an overview over everything. So let's imagine 2 teams. There is a team chaos. By the way, another question to raise hands. Is there anyone who is still planning in Excel in here? No, okay, proud of you. I did talk to some customers today who are still doing that. I'm not saying that planning in Excel is bad. It's also a way to plan, but also it's difficult as for me to maintain, since every time someone takes a vacation, someone leaves, someone comes, you have to update everything, or basically you have to update it all the time, which can be time-consuming. Then maybe you have users tracking time in Jira, in my team chaos. So to compare those two, it would take an effort, because also native Jira does not have a built-in timesheets. So you would need to extract somehow data, maybe through some export or so, and then try to compare. And then there is another team who is doing everything in centralized place. Let's say they are planning on the timeline, so they have an overview over everything that is happening. And they are also having, again, maybe track time in Jira, but they have very simple comparison between what they planned versus what actually happened. So, and real-time insight. So you don't have to build a comparison report every time, but you can just open one or add it to your dashboard. So the question is how to move from chaos to clarity. There is, hopefully you will see it, there are a few short videos that will try to simulate how we plan for a user and how this user actually tracks work and what results we can get of that. So, okay, did not go as planned. Let me try and play it like this. Okay, so let's say we have an Oliver in here. Oliver's capacity is 8 hours a day, so he is available 8 hours a day, Monday, Friday. And suddenly he decided to take 2 days off, I think so, on Thursday and Friday. So either Oliver can go ahead and create those, or maybe he can sync his instance with Google Calendar and create it there. Then maybe he has a monthly meeting on Monday that will take 3 hours of his time. So we go ahead and create that time. And then me as a manager, I can see what's backlog, maybe for him, maybe just the team's one, and go ahead and assign this work to him. So under Oliver's name, I can see his position, and I can see what's his workload. So this is currently in percentage. So Monday, he's 75% busy, Tuesday, 100, Wednesday, 63, and then the rest of the week, he has time off. Okay, now, his personal workspace, that's how we call it. This is where he can see what is scheduled for him as a user and where he can quickly track time. As you can see for the monthly meeting, the event that we created, he does not need to track time because if it was there, he actually attended it, so it's already a time spent. Let's play it. So Thursday and Friday already also is not counted as the day that he needs to log time for because he has time off there. So he can go ahead and slowly, maybe, I don't like doing that on Friday afternoon, but some people do. Maybe on Friday afternoon, he goes in here and slowly logs time for the work that he has done for the week. If you want, you can log time for multiple days at the same time. You can also do it from Jira, but from Jira, you don't know if you already reported time for the day. Maybe you reported it in some other task, but in here you can have this overview over everything. If you made a mistake, you can simply drag and drop a work log for another day, and it will be more or less perfect. Like this. And yeah, perfect. He logged 95% of his required time. Also, in this view, there is overview of all of his work logs. So if he needs to adjust something, maybe he made a mistake in the category of work, or actually made a mistake, so he needs to adjust it, he can do it in here. And then the step 3, either for him or also for the managers, is to review and adjust. So from planned versus actual perspective, there are different reports and different metrics that you can look at. Let's say if we are looking just at this user. So what we can see in this, maybe too small for you to read, screenshot, that planned versus actual for this user is 121%. But planned required versus planned is 79. That means that user did work within his capacity, so he did not log more time than his capacity, but he was planned for less work. So suddenly he worked more than people were expecting from him. And if we want to overview it in the chart, so to quickly understand where was his bottleneck, how did we plan, and what was his capacity overall, we can see it in the chart. So the gray is what we still had, so we actually could plan more work for him, but for some reason, manager didn't. If we want to track, go into details and actually know why things happened the way they happened, we would need to drill down into the tasks and actual issues, work items. So we can identify what went as planned and when reality told a different story. So in here we can see which task is on track, and the other one, XCD38, was underestimated by 2 hours. If you ask me, 2 hours is not bad. So if your planned versus reality is more or less 2 to 5 hours, that's still fine. But if you see numbers in here, especially on the project level in 50, 100, then definitely you need to go ahead and maybe change something. So looking at one person is nice, but we are not working solo. So one person is just one piece of puzzle, as well as success as well as failures are shared. So if team succeeds, then all good. But if someone fails, that's also team's failure. So to zoom out, we can generate those reports for a couple of teams. Teams can be skill-based, position-based, so depending how you want to see it, or project-based, so that's also possible. So let's say if we are generating it, in my case, just for regular Scrum and sample team, we can see that, okay, overall, planned versus actual was not bad, but we can go ahead and look in the details and see that actually Robert overworked. So perhaps it's the question to ask why Robert worked so much, and then Philip almost didn't. So this is also a good way to, if you are doing sprints and you have those retrospective meetings, to go over this and ask those questions. This is more about productivity and how people actually track things. But those reports that I showed you on the task level, this is already more about actually project failures, because you estimate, you do plan time for users, but you also estimate things like issues, again, work items, epics, and so on. Again, the chart, but already on the different level. So this is not already one person. This is us looking at design team and dev team. So we can see what were the trends. The other report just showed us the overall data for the period. In this case, we can see the weekly or monthly statistics and overall trend. Does it look like we are always matching planned versus actual as in here, or there are some problems as in here? So you can go back in time and actually have a look and see what actually affected those numbers to change and how you can improve in the end. So to drill down, this per task one is the one that brings the most value, at least to my team. This is where we see, especially on the feature requests from customers, we see where we spent more time than we expected, and if it's still worth investing in that feature, if it's already like underestimated by, again, 100 hours or so. So this is where you come to see whether your plan made sense and where something went wrong. But having all of that data is nice, but the most important is to, the other slide, is to adjust and actually use it, so for it to become a habit. But while looking at those reports, the red flags to watch for is actually this alignment. So for the chart, you have to see the tendency, whether is it a constant issue or maybe it was just like a hiccup for a month or a week. If it is a constant issue, then you do need to try and change some things. So again, repeated over-under estimation is bad. If it's one-time thing and maybe a 2 hours overestimation, that's not a problem. And yeah, teams too busy to plan. We all don't like spending too much time for planning, but that's actually where you kind of try to predict how everything will go. Without it, you are just like a blind person trying to imagine what's happening and what will be finished when. You can create a nice project plan, maybe in Jira plans or like in a Gantt chart, but can your team manage it or can they not? That's the question that is not answered there, so you need to look for the answers. So what you can do tomorrow or not tomorrow, is to start small. If you are not doing any kind of planning and time tracking, I'd suggest with doing it, or if you consider doing that, to start small. Actually, if you are talking about tracking actually time, just maybe start with one team, enroll it, have them slowly fill in the data, then maybe remind them once or twice or so. If you're talking about planning, planning does not have to be always at the task level, so very precise. For some teams, and usually it is difficult to be so precise at the start, so you can also plan in percentages. So you can say that this user is 50% busy for this month with this project. And then you can overall see, based on what he actually tracked, whether it matched in any way. And then if you would want to be more precise, you can move ahead with the more detailed planning later on. So once you do start some tracking, some planning, I would suggest doing those reviews and adjusting estimates based on the trends. So you see where was the problem, where it laid, how to improve it, and you will go ahead and smallly adjust. And use those reports to tell the actual story. So without reports, again, you cannot justify. So the problem usually that customers come to us with is like, we need more resources, but we need to justify it. So the C-level management wants to know or have some proof that we need more resources. But how can you prove it without having any data? So the aha moment, or like the moment where you actually will get the real value, is when actually you start to do better planning and having data to compare those and actually using that data. So you will have less questions like, where did the time go? So maybe your team will be more asking, what can we do to improve it? How can we do better? And that's the whole goal. So the team is motivated, and actually your plans would really make sense. So the planning habit of making plans and actually tracking time takes time to become actually a habit. So it's not an easy one, but if you do it in the end, I'm sure you will not be in those 32% of project failure statistics. So you will be in the one that actually succeeds. So you can start small from the weekly reviews, or not weekly, sprint reviews. Have a look how it went, what went wrong, where was the problem. Then you can have a monthly trends and quarterly learnings where you actually maybe adjust overall situation, adjust overall culture of the company, or at least try to not to have underestimation problems. So a short story of James Gibson. So that's one of our customers that gladly agreed to do a short interview. We will not share the whole interview, but just a few challenges that they faced. So the main problem for them was inconsistent time tracking because users did not have actually visibility in Jira whether they actually already tracked time, did they not, do they need to do it, who needs to tell them if they need to do it, and so on. And they didn't have, like I wrote limited visibility, but they did not have visibility over planned versus actual. So in the end, they found activity timeline. They chose it because it has full integration with Jira as a Jira add-on, so they did not need a lot of efforts to start and have it rolling. And why it worked for them is because they stuck with it. So they implemented it, and they actually started using it on a day-to-day basis to get the results. So the short outcome from the statistics viewpoint is that they decreased number of minutes from 5 to 1 when processing invoices, but that's more about time tracking. But from the planning perspective, they have more accurate project costing right now, resource allocation, and ultimately that led to better project outcomes for them. So just to wrap up, Jira is, again, what we all use in here. Jira is great for structure. Jira provides us this ecosystem where we can put everything in, where everyone works, everyone tracks, and so on. Activity timeline can bring you this clarity over actually what can go wrong, how it can go wrong, and how you can prevent it from going wrong. Then you have your brain for reflection and coffee for everything else. That's a small joke to laugh at. Okay, so that is briefly it from me. If you have any questions over how it works, or any suggestions, or if you want to tell your story about plans versus reality, whether they match or maybe they not, you can come visit our booth. So we are in the dark corner, but I'm sure you will find us. And if you want to find us on the marketplace, you can also scan a QR code in here. That's it for me. Thank you so much for listening.